guys, welcome back to another video. And today, instead of doing this, and now I'm gonna do old Minecraft Java edition using the Minecraft betacraft launcher. Now you can download this for yourself on, I don't remember the website, but it was something like betacraft.uk, and it has a lot of old Minecraft versions, pre-classic, a lot of classic versions, 2 4K versions. Oh yeah, we have like all the pre-classic versions. Not all of them, but like most of them. We have almost all in devs. A lot of in dev. We have a bunch of them, like all the Secret Fridays, I think. We have alphas here, but what's interesting is that we have like almost every single one of these archived. We have alpha 1.1.1, the version that was lost a few years ago. We have beta, we have the PC Gamer demo, the beta 1.2_02 dev version, the beta 1.6 test build 3 where we can place water in the nether, and beta 1.9 pre-releases to top it off. And we have snapshots between 1.0 and 1.1, 1.1 and 1.2, which I guess you can't access in the normal launcher, and it goes all and has April Fool's versions and goes all the way up to version 1.5.2. Now to start the video, I'll go in the oldest version that I can actually record. Here we are in version classic 0.0.11.a. Now for most versions, for the most of the first versions, you have to open this on this screen. This is the oldest version I can record. Sadly, I cannot record pre-classic, but as the first videos of Minecraft on the internet are, I've opened version classic 0.0.11a. This is the oldest one that I can actually record. All the other ones just open up, and if you press ESC, they close. Now this version is very simple. If you press G, you spawn one of those humans. You have a few blocks to go through. Stone, dirt, cobblestone, wooden planks, and saplings. These are all of the blocks I have, and some basic world generation with these cliffs and a few hills, I guess. But this world is mostly made of cliffs, and as you can tell, if you've got a good computer, you can go at around 2,000 frames a second, what I'm achieving right now. Now this is one of the oldest versions ever. There's just a few missing classic versions. One thing I hate about this versions though are the ghost blocks, like the ones I'm doing right now. It's just so hard for me to build with these on. But this is just how the old game works. And literally, this is how the old game worked. Yes, very buggy. You could place saplings on stone, but these saplings actually decayed. So there's something. This is a really cool version in my opinion. Even though it's so old, you could do stuff just with the humans, I guess, if you wanted to, but let's move on to the next version. Here we are in the next version. Here we actually have a generating screen, version 0.20.0.20a_01. Yes, I skipped a lot of versions, but we also have a lot to cover in this video. Now here the game is already much more developed and is way much more complex. We have trees already and a full inventory of blocks you can choose from and a hotbar. We still have the ghost block, like build process, but the cool thing is you literally have X-ray underwater, which doesn't change much, but if it changes something, that's what it changes. Now by this time we already have a ton of new blocks. Not only do we have stone, cobblestone, dirt, and planks actually have the texture that it has today. Oh yeah, you press B to open your inventory. We have logs, leaves, saplings, flowers, sand, gravel, glass, which by the way is already transparent. I guess that is how it would have to be. Sponges, gold, all colors of wool. Back in this day, it was called something different. I can't quite recall it, and we had some different colors, which made it pretty cool. But still, this ghost thing here, the ghost building, still makes a major setback to me. And even though this version's already much more complex with water, they already added ores, it's just not accessible to you in your inventory. Even though this is way much more complex, you can still achieve over 1,000 frames a second easily, depending on what computer you are. Which, the one I'm using, it can easily achieve this. There is basically a world border in this version, but it's just the ocean and a impenetrable border that you really can't pass. You can tell, and under there's bedrock that you also can't pass, and you can't break. And from what I've discovered playing this before, you can't really break. The lava really happens at the bedrock layer, so it's not really easy to. And you can see the bedrock here. It's just a bunch of water and bedrock at the world border. Now, even though this version may seem, the watercolor changes, we do have a few more options. We can generate a new level and choose sizes. Some versions, like versions in InfDev, have serious problems generating huge levels, where the levels of entities they spawn are humongous. So that's just not doing it for versions after Classic for a while. Not InDev, for sure. Now, this is another version. Let's move on to the next one. And now we're in the next version, the survival test. The reason I'm not doing the first version is that if not, this video would be just too long, and I don't really want to make it that long. And this version is the first version where we actually are put in survival mode. Well, not the first one. This is 0.27, the survival test. We have a health bar now, which at this stage is absolutely crazy. Pigs exist, and so do the 4 classic monsters of Minecraft: spiders, zombies, skeletons, and creepers. Creepers in this version do melee damage though, and they only explode once they're full out of health. But the one bad thing about this version compared to the first version is that the mobs move quick. You have arrows, and you use them by pressing tab. Now, I can already see that these mobs are about to move very quickly. You have the TNT you can use, and it works pretty well. But if you get too close to these mobs, they actually go very fast. There's like hordes of mobs in specific areas. And so, like the blocks. So this is basically the first version of, not like the last versions, that tests survival mode ever. And yes, you can still generate new levels. This game menu, the textures are better at this stage. I still don't think the game pauses when you do this. So it still doesn't pause. And now moving on to the next version. Here, moving to the next version. Sorry about the screen glitch. This is the final version of Classic. Sorry about all this glitches. I thought I was recording earlier. So, this is a Converse Classic with a refined inventory with TNT, although it doesn't explode in this version, sadly. And we have ore blocks and sponges, which for the first time, we can exterminate water. And in a specific situation I had over there, or let's try it out over here, we can literally like make the water house, which is pretty cool, I guess. Which then goes here. Well, I guess it has an opening, but still pretty cool in my opinion. Moving on to the next version. In Minecraft InfDev. This is one of the first versions to actually have a title screen. We can generate a new level, load level, or we have options, which are render distance, difficulty. We have monsters. So we have show FPS, which is basically an F3 menu. We don't have coordinates yet. And when we generate a new level, this is the first version where we have options. We can do island, floating, flat, and inland. just for this one, since I like it, I'm doing the floating one just to demonstrate it since it's pretty cool. We can choose the shape square, long, and deep. I'm doing the long one. We have the size that we could choose earlier. And we have themes, normal and hell. I'll do normal just for this one because the hell doesn't really work out on the floating one. Right out the bat, we spawn in a mossy cobblestone house. And, oh wait, we're almost falling off here. And just like it was said, this is a floating Minecraft world. A bunch of just floating islands placed all the way out here. If you ask me, this is pretty cool, and it's pretty sad that they even removed this. I'm gonna be honest. Oh yeah, music's already been added to the game. It's kind of funny that the clouds are down there. So if you fall down, that water does kill you. And then you can generate a new level. Let's say this one is just the classic island. And this is basically all it has. You're placed in survival mode, so you actually have to play the game like you would today and day. You break some wood, except it just drops a bunch of planks, so don't ask about this. I also have questions. Though it gives more than I think if you crafted it. So there's an upside. You still don't have, well, you have a crafting screen where you can make crafting tables. I hate the crafting system. We have sticks. So yes, you could make tools, I think. I think they already existed in this version. Yeah, we had shovels, or we could make the good old pickaxe and get stone variants. Just a note, diamonds didn't exist in this version yet, so that's just a little note. And that's really all these in-dev versions have to add, except for another Rana character, which is not exactly Minecrafty, if I have to say it like that. In later versions, this house actually has a lot of items that we can use, which includes a water spawner. To the next version! Here we are in the next version of InDev, near the end of the InDev life cycle. And we still have all the same options with a flat and inland type. I don't know if flat was there earlier, but they removed original. Let's do this again, and then we still have all these same parameters except for the themes. We have more themes like paradise and woods. I want to see what the paradise one looks like, since interestingly I haven't ever tested this one out. And just like those other versions, it generates one. I skipped all the versions where they have a chest in the house, since those don't really matter, but if you want to see it, I guess I can make another video just playing Minecraft in dev. This apparently is the paradise map theme world. I guess it's pretty cool, but the floating sand that I see just does not work out in some instances of logic to me. This is pretty cool. It's still basically the same as it was, except the house has changed. Also, if I'm not wrong, when you go mine a log, I think now it drops an actual log, but I could be wrong right now. Okay, it still just drops blanks. Sometimes it drops less than you would craft them in a newer version, but doesn't matter. This is actually a time in dev was the first phase of Minecraft where you actually had to pay for the game. Interestingly enough, I guess you would have to pay for any of it, but in dev is the first development cycle where you had to pay for it, which means, interestingly enough, in classic you didn't have to pay for it, which I guess makes some sort of sense. To the next version. And so now we're in InfDev. Everything is still the same. We still have all of these generation ideas. We still have all of them. For this one, let's just try out woods and inland. InfDev means infinite development, and wow, this is just interesting. We have a 64 of every item. Like, how does this work out? Anyway, this is already a version where diamonds were added, And oh, pretty big. I wonder if a flint and steel makes it catch on fire. No, you can't, so you can make that catch on fire. And we have flint and steels now. We also have bows and arrows. So for whoever... Wow, this is an interesting version. I guess the world generation at this stage is infinite. Yes, these monsters did just start spawning now. They're already hostile, by the way. So this is just an interesting version. Like, wait, let me try to... Ouch! Ouch! Get out of here! Well, nowhere is safe in this version. They just spawn mobs randomly, I guess. But, so, that is the version. Also, when you go in the options menu, the game menu, it actually pauses the game now. To the next version. This next version, Minecraft Alpha. The next version we're gonna go over the major updates of Alpha and Beta for this. Now we don't have generation world types. We have 5 worlds at a time at this stage. And it's an infinite world generation, unlike the limited worlds of earlier. And yes, I'm pretty sure logs just drop logs now. And you have the same crafting menu. And wow, the player moves around weirdly, but that doesn't matter. So now we're finally in the alpha stage. Apparently the hand can barely generate though the way we're playing. And mob spawning has been fixed, I think. So I'm pretty sure you can be anywhere you want for the daytime. Now, if you punch a sheep, you just get wool. So, interestingly enough, it could drop up to 3. You can't even kill a sheep in today's version of Minecraft and just get 2, like when you shear it. And this is already a new version. This is the most classic I think it gets. You have the light colored green grass, and then you also have everything is just bright. And I think everyone's seen an alpha Minecraft world at least once. We also have caves, big ones, and mob spawn in them, which is why if I ever play this survival, it's gonna be a peaceful world. I really don't want to lose iron. So yeah, the true alpha experience. The first one it gives to you on the launcher. Moving on to the next version. Minecraft Alpha 1.1.1. This is actually Minecraft Alpha 1.1.1. Yes, it's the true version. Let's go in that same world we were earlier. Nice. And for the first time, we can sneak in Minecraft, which is pretty cool if you just ask me. And yes, this is the version that has been lost for a while, but was found later in 2018, I think. This is no fake. They do include it in the launcher. And there's a bunch of cool key things you can do. Now, moving on to beta. Actually, no. Let's do a bit of this. Let's explore a bit of a Minecraft Alpha world, even though I'll make more videos on these versions later, not using the betacraft launcher. If you want to access some of these old versions, most of Alpha and Beta, just without downloading anything, you on the Minecraft launcher can just access this. If you go to settings for Java Edition and let historical versions be accessed, you can play these old versions. Not Alpha 1.1.1, I think, but a few versions from Classic. Only one InfDev version, a newer one than what I played, and no InDev since they didn't ever archive that, which is why having the betacraft launcher is pretty cool. Now, moving on to the next version. Alpha 1.2.0, the Halloween update. This is the true version, the one that adds the nether and the tundra biome. Now, I'm not sure if this is the version. I don't know if I have access to the version, but from what I know, this is the original Halloween update world. Released, I'm pretty sure, exactly on Halloween, maybe a day before. Now, this adds the tundra biome, which is just any normal biome covered with snow, which we see here. Before this version, you had a 1 in 4 chance of generating You had a 1 in 4 chance of generating a snowy world, a world that was just snow. It was called the winter mode. Keep in mind that sprinting doesn't exist in this version yet. And it's still all very limited game. But a lot of more things exist now, including the nether. And while I can't go there because it would take a while, I will make more versions on alpha and beta versions later on. So we will be able to see it. Also, videos I'll do later are in the actual Minecraft launcher. And wow, you can delete a whole lot of snow on the trees just by breaking one snow layer. Pretty cool. Also, ice was added in a few versions prior, Alpha 1.1.1. If I'm not wrong, Alpha 1.0.5. So in the launcher, you should check out all of those little versions from Alpha 1.0 to 1.1 because many of those are updates. For the sake of time, I'm not doing them in this video. To the next version. Minecraft Beta 1.3. For the sake of this video, I will skip a few versions now. This is the version that added beds, and you can have more than just a few versions. No idea when this world was played, but seemingly a while ago. Now, worlds now must be converted to establish the creation thing, whatever that is. Also, textures since Alpha 1.2 have changed to be darker, and man, this is the version. For some reason, to me, the textures just look perfect. This version, we already had birch forests and stuff like that, which is why this world needed to be converted to be played in. Just a reminder on that. No, this world, if you go too far, you can encounter chunk glitches. Something I will cover in a few videos while I'm playing alpha and beta worlds. You'll see later. They're basically like cutoffs in a world because terrain generation is generated in new ways. In fact, I think here we already have a chunk border. You see how the chunks aren't generating anymore? This is what I call the chunk glitch, where the alpha terrain generation, it still exists in beta if you had loaded it up earlier. But I think it's right over here. I'm not sure, but there might be a hard cutoff over here. If I'm wrong, just cheer me out because I've encountered this before. But somewhere around here, there might be a hard cutoff. Think you see it? I think it's all the too close. This is the hard cutoff I'm talking about. When a hard cutoff, like this, is what I'm talking about. When a new chunk generates on top of the old chunks, it comes in this. There's a lake over here, but there's grass over here. This is what I'm talking about, and honestly, it's pretty cool. Which, if you generate these worlds that you keep converting in later versions, it can generate naturally made lava flowing inside of water. A phenomenon I've seen occur in Minecraft Java Edition before. Around versions 1.1, if you start a world all the way back in InfDev, the first version on the launcher, and you keep updating it to the next version. Okay, here we are, Beta 1.8, the version that removed the farmlands, added a nicer title screen. That's not the point of this. This is the adventure update, which added much more bigger stuff than that. First of all, we have creative mode. We can sprint now too, and a bunch of new biomes. are implemented. Also, this has test strongholds that can't actually access the end, which will be added in version 1.0.0, the last version for this video. And now immediately you have a lot of things, and it's completely unorganized. And there's a ton of new biomes. This swamp looking very lush colored. And this is what I'm talking about. Swamps did not exist in versions earlier. So this is what the update adds. While taigas did and deserts did, if you go around exploring for enough time, you can encounter biomes that weren't added earlier, which is where the conversion of worlds between a beta 1.3 and a beta 1.8 version comes in. You could find another chunk border, and maybe eventually, if you keep doing it enough, find the lava flowing in water. Now, trying to keep this video short, the last version I'm going to right now will be version 1.0.0. If you guys want a video about more major updates and recent updates, I'll make one. Just tell me in the comments, and I'll make one. To the next version! For the final version of this video, we are playing 1.0.0, the official release of Minecraft. Oh yeah. So, this is the official release of Minecraft, the last version I will feature in this video, just for time's sake. This adds the end, though I probably will not look for a stronghold since it might be hard to find one. But let's venture into the nether. In this version, nether fortresses were added though. So if I'm able to find the blocks to make a nether portal, we'll go in. And as proved, we do have nether bricks. Now, if we could actually search blocks up, I might be able to do this. Okay. Now, the nether got added in alpha 1.2.0. Now, here we are just going to go through the nether quickly, just to show what it was in this version. Keep note that this is not the normal nether you will be finding, because now we're accustomed to the nether update. But just look at this nether. No idea if this is chunk still generating. Yeah, it is. It's just that lava texture is darker. We usually don't even know this nether existed. If you start playing after 1.16, lava falls from the ceiling of the nether. It's a barren wasteland. Sure it is, but all in all, it's pretty cool, I guess. I mean, how many times have you gone in the nether that was this wasteland? Not much times, most likely. So, this concludes the video. If you guys want me to make one about more major updates after the official release of Minecraft, tell me in the comments below, and I will make one. For now, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!